So, you're meditating. You're listening to Aaron Dowdy. You're listening to Sadhguru, Alan Watts. You're getting in nature. You're learning about the chakras. You're learning about Buddhism, Hinduism. You're doing all of these things. You're doing yoga. You're really trying to connect with yourself. You're having a spiritual awakening. It's great. But how long have you been doing it? How long have you been in this process? Do you feel like, while it is better than eating junk food all day, and it's better than watching TV and spending hours scrolling through social media, it's much better than that. But do you still feel like there's something missing? Like you're still trying to get this thing where like one day you're just gonna awaken. It's just gonna happen and things are gonna click and everything is just gonna come your way and you're gonna be enlightened. Are you in this pattern where you keep doing all these things with your spiritual awakening, hoping for that thing to click one day, and it's just hasn't come yet, and you feel like you've been doing this for so long, just waiting for it to come? Definitely has been a very reoccurring thing in my life, and it made me feel really tired and exhausted and just frustrated with the whole thing. And I'm not claiming to have all this figured out. Otherwise, I'd be Buddha, okay? I'm not Buddha. I'm not enlightened. But there are some things that have helped me grow out of this perpetual loop in my spiritual awakening of just feeling like I need to keep doing all these things to become more awakened, and then one day I'm going to be really awakened, and then I'll be totally blissed out. And yeah, I just want to share the things that have helped me sort of grow out of that. Again, not entirely, otherwise I'd be Buddha, but like, things have helped. So, to begin, it's all about first realizing that the thing you are seeking for in your spiritual awakening is the same thing you were seeking when you were a little kid and you wanted candy. And Alan Watts is a big inspiration of this little idea I'm sharing real quick. But like when you're a little kid, candy's that thing that gets you happiness. But then eventually you have an experience where you eat like 50 pieces of candy and you realize, okay, maybe my happiness doesn't lie in candy. So you grow up. Maybe happiness becomes being popular. Maybe it becomes having a significant other. Maybe it becomes a drug. Who knows what your source of happiness becomes? Maybe it's building your body, maybe whatever it may be, junk food. But as you grow in life, and this is a big reason why my spiritual awakening started happening, and I know it's a big reason for a lot of other people too, is that as you start growing up, you realize that these material things aren't actually making you happy. They don't serve you. They give you a little sense of pleasure, but in reality, they don't make you happy. So the spiritual awakening is like, okay, if I can't get my happiness in any of these material things, or non-material things like status, if I can't get my happiness in those things, maybe the happiness lies in spirituality. Maybe it lies in religion. Maybe there's some, as Alan Watts would say, spiritual goodie that isn't materialistic and is just going to wither away and not going to actually make me happy. Maybe there's an eternal thing that is going to make me happy. And then you start getting into this stuff. You start looking into yoga and Buddhism, Taoism, and you start seeing that people are talking about, if you connect to the source, you connect to the energy, connect with the universe, you start getting this feeling, this energy where you are connected and you just feel happy, and you don't need material things to keep filling you up, and you can just be good. But we fall into this trap, and I definitely have fallen into this trap, and again, not claiming to be out of it, because I'm not. But the trap that I see And it's not just me saying this. I get these ideas from a lot of other people too. But like the trap is that we are still looking for the same thing we have been looking for our whole lives. We are seeking something. We are telling ourselves right now we are not good enough and I need the spiritual awakening to make me feel better. The thing I need to make me happy is candy. Okay, no. Now the thing I need to make me happy is a drug. No. Okay, now it's a spiritual awakening. We are still seeking. We're still looking for that thing to save us. But then here's the thing that we do, and I did this as well. When I start hearing about these ideas that the seeking itself is the problem, when I start hearing these ideas, what my mind does, and a lot of people's too, is we start saying, okay, me seeking things is the issue, so I'm going to not seek something, and then I'll get the thing I want. But the problem with that is that now we're still seeking. We're just seeking with the strategy of not seeking. In other words, you're trying really hard to get this thing, and you learn that you're trying too hard. The trying is the problem, so you try not to try, but you're still trying. So then you might try not to try not to try, and then that doesn't work either. So then, again, this is what's been happening to me, is you fall into this trap, this ongoing cycle of, okay, I know that trying is the problem, so I'm going to not try. But then I try not trying for long enough, and then that doesn't work, so let me go back to trying again. And now I'm trying again, and I'm looking into spirituality again, I'm meditating, and then eventually I hit a point where that's not working again. So then I give it all up, and then when I give it all up, I feel good again. And I'm like, see, I've been trying too hard this whole time. And then I get my mind set on, all right, cool. All I need to do is not try. And then I hold on to this idea of not trying, and now I'm trying not to try. It's this real trap that we go through. So I wanted to share how the Hindu gurus handle this situation when their followers are in the same pickle that we're in. How do the gurus handle this? What they actually do is they tell the person, you're not a good enough student, you're not disciplined, you have to continue to meditate, and you keep giving up. So then the student keeps going, keeps trying to meditate and try to do all these things, and eventually they hit a point where they're like, screw this doesn't work, so I'm gonna quit. And then they go back to the guru because they've quit for enough time to where they're like, that's not working either. So they go back and the guru says, see, you're undisciplined. And then they go back and back and forth and back and forth. And eventually they hit a point where they just call the guru's bluff. They're like, this doesn't work. And then the secret is revealed. What the guru was trying to do this whole time was to get the follower to try so hard to the point to where they literally just give up. And this is the funniest thing. Once you've tried trying so hard and you've tried not trying so hard for enough time, eventually you realize you can't do it. So you actually just give up. And that's the funniest, the most ironic thing, is the second you give up is the second you got it. Because you are no longer seeking. Once you've stopped seeking, you've stopped seeking. You gave up. And now you've got it. And for me, this has been a process that has continuously happened. Like, I've had these moments of like fully actually giving up and then feeling amazing for a decent period of time. But then after enough time goes on in this period, I start holding on to this idea because I'm like, this feels amazing. I've got it now. Now let me really make sure I don't lose it and hold on to it. And then that puts me back in the trap again. So it's this weird process. I'm growing. Hopefully, I don't know, one day. I say I'm working on it, but again, that's me seeking. See this trap? It's crazy. But there's two main things to really recognize here, among probably a lot of other things too. But two key things in my mind to recognize here. One being, you cannot do it. And it's a funny thing in our culture. We tell ourselves like, you can do it, you can do it. That's like a good thing. But in this realm, that's not. Because if you keep trying to do it, that is the problem. You literally cannot do it. As much as you try, as much as you try not trying, you cannot do it. When you realize this, it becomes a lot easier to just not try, to just be in that give up mindset, because you know no matter what you do, you literally can't do anything about it. So it just becomes easier to not try. The second really nice takeaway that I haven't really talked about in this video yet is that there's nothing to figure out. A big thing for me has always been like, all right, like I really gotta like figure this stuff out. Like in my spiritual way, I'm like, all right, like I gotta like watch these videos and I gotta like take notes on them, and then I gotta learn all the yoga techniques. I gotta learn how to sit with my legs and get both feet up like this. I gotta learn all the breathing techniques. I gotta try all these things. I gotta listen to binaural beats. Like I really gotta like figure this out. And the joke of it all is there's nothing to figure out. That's what the guru is trying to get across. Because the student eventually calls the guru's bluff, and the guru laughs and says, there's nothing to figure out. The guru is no better than anyone else. That's the point he's trying to get across. Us trying to figure out the problem is the problem. That is seeking. The truth is that everything is already perfect. It's all inside of you already. You are it. And you know this. There's nothing you have to do to get there because you are already there. And when you try to get there, you now come up with the story that you're telling yourself, saying, I am not there currently. Therefore, I have to try to get there by doing all these things. But you're already there. There's nothing you have to do. There's nothing you have to figure out. And there's nothing you can do as much as you try. So it's just, that's it. It's just letting go. And it's the funniest thing, because you may have a moment watching this video where you're like, man, okay, yeah, he's right. I'm just going to let go. And then you got it. But then you may realize, oh shoot, I got it. Now I'm going to hold on to it. And now you're back in this loop again. This is what's happened to me. But these ideas that I'm sharing here, oh my God, they've helped me tremendously. Tremendously. Made it way easier to let go. So yeah, I hope this video helps you on your spiritual awakening. I hope you try it all out. Try these techniques. Really do it, you know, because that's going to be effective. Just really try and do it. So yeah, I hope this helped. Peace.